So this is charging away nicely. And what we're going to do now while that's doing that is turn our attention to this device here, the reader unit. Now the reader unit is a very important part of this kit. It serves a number of purposes. First of all, it allows you to actually set the conditions that the doseBadges are using. So if you want to set different configurations for different territories in terms of monitoring occupational noise, you can do that from the reader unit. It also can set the date and time in here, so that means it's accurate. And it allows you to start and stop these particular doseBadges. It also has built into it, in this hole at the top here, a calibrator. So it's very important for any noise measurement equipment, before you start using it, you calibrate them to make sure they are completely accurate. And finally, the reader unit allows you to download all of the data from the doseBadge into here and review it. And then, once you've got all that data in there, you can connect this unit to your laptop or PC and download all of the noise information to Noise Tools, our download and analysis software. So that's basically what this device is for. And in the kit, you'll notice that there are two AA batteries. So I'm just going to show you where those go first. So there's a small cover at the back. And in there, we just pop our two batteries, like so. Pop the cover back on. And here we have the device. So what I'm going to do first of all is turn it on. I just hold this button down at the front and then the screen will burst into life. So you can see the first thing it's saying on here, because it's the first time we've used this, is the clock is not set. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to set the clock. Once it's set, you shouldn't need to set it again. Even when you replace the batteries, the clock will keep the time, but it's a one-off. But if you ever need to change it in the future, this is, because the time has gone slightly out, or because of daylight savings time or things like that, and this is how you do it. So we have a menu button on the bottom of the screen. You press that and then use the arrow keys to go down to where you want to be, in this case set clock, and click OK. And then all you have to do is to go along and set the hours, minutes, seconds, etc. So the time here is 9:40, so I'll just go up to 9 and change that to 40, and then the day is the 26th of the 9th 24. There we go, 23, 24, and then press OK. It's now set. While we're in here, let's have a look at some of the other options that are on the menu screen. The top one is clear memory. So as I said, this device will store information from each of the doseBadges. Eventually it will get full, so I would recommend you clearing the memory on a regular basis, particularly after you've downloaded the data that you've captured in here to Noise Tools. Basically check the data's okay in Noise Tools, and then you can clear the memory, clear for next time. The next one down is you can adjust the contrast of the LCD display. If that's a little bit dull, you can actually tighten it up, brighten it up a little bit. The next one down is the time history control. This is important because doseBadges not only give you an overall average noise level, LAEQ, and the highest peak level, they will also log a time history. And that time history is logged every minute. And if the time history is turned off, all you'll have is the overall average noise level and the highest peak. But what's really interesting with dosimeter data is that the history tells you at what point during the day you had some high noise levels or some low noise levels. So having that time history is important. So just make sure it's turned on. So all we do at the moment, it's telling me on the bottom of the screen it's turned off. So if I click OK, I can use the arrow keys to go down to on and click OK. Now time history, it's telling me is turned on, and I would personally always leave it in that position. So the next one down are things to do with setting the device for the way you monitor occupational noise in your territory. So things like criterion time, criterion level, threshold level, and time weighting. These are things that you may wish to set if you're in an OSHA area or an MSHA. For the UK and Europe, I wouldn't touch these because the device is set in a way that it will monitor those noise levels in the correct way for the Europe and the UK. It's only if you are in other territories that you probably need to change those. We have a very comprehensive user manual which comes on a USB stick, which is also in the case, and we have a very good quick start guide as well, which you can download directly from our website, which I believe is also on the USB stick. So once you've set these things for your territory, even the date and time for the UK and Europe, you will not need to change them because these are fixed in here. But if you ever need to, you use the menu system. Things like the exchange rate, dual channel is also set. So these doseBadges have 2 channels, so you can actually set it so that you record occupational noise levels in a way for one territory, and the second channel can be used to calculate things for another territory. So for example, in the UK and Europe we use something called LAEQ, which is the air-weighted continuous sound pressure level. It's basically a logarithmic average over the period of time that you're measuring. And in America, for example, they use something called L-average, which is calculated slightly differently. So these are the changes that making these alterations in the menu will enable you to get the numbers that you actually need. So there's a few of those, and we're down to the last one, which is dose exceedance. So once you've basically, for the UK and Europe, it's pretty simple. You set the date and time, make sure time history is on, and then when you've finished, just press menu, and you're ready to go and use it in a slightly different way.